I need to be the... And thank you. Let me continue now. So my name is Anja Gengo. I work for the IGF Secretariat, mainly with the national, regional, sub-regional, and youth IGFs. And on my right side, we have Bianca, our dear MAG member. So me and Bianca kind of discussed that we should maybe start something to explain to the people who are coming to the IGF for the very first time what is the IGF as a process. That it's not just a huge conference, but it's really a process that lasted for 10 years and will continue for the next 10 years for sure. So, Bianca, would you like to say just briefly something about the Newcomers Track, and then we have many our speakers here that would like to share their experience.
Hi, so the Newcomer Track is, the main objective is to make you feel welcome. So for those who is the first time, like Sebastian here, you can put on the one of these like badges so people can reach out to you. So you might have been hearing a lot of acronyms like ISOC, ICANN, different companies as well. So we wanted to put them in touch with you. So they would start with an introduction about themselves, their roles, and then what their organization do. And then we will kind of go to free-style Q&A, let you mingle with them so you know who are the stakeholders. So maybe we start with him.
So let's start from Kente because he needs to leave us soon, unfortunately, and then we're moving to other colleagues.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kenta Motsuki from Yahoo Japan Corporation. Unfortunately, I have to make a presentation at 1:50, so I make a brief comment on what we are doing. Okay, got it. Thank you very much. Actually, our company is providing a lot of, services like news or, shopping services, and also some auction services. And for us, internet is, an open and global means to vitalize, cross-border expression and economic activities. And we focus on the Japanese domestic market, but still, we recognize the importance of internet as well as the, get involved in the internet governance discussion. So, we've ever been participating in a lot of, IG discussion, like we held a workshop regarding protection of youth online at the Asia Pacific Regional IGF, and also that we attended WSIS birthday and WSIS forum. And this time, we are supposed to hold one session regarding protection of youth online with some panelists from Asia and Africa. So if possible, please attend my session. And also that from 1:50, I'm going to make a presentation on digital trade policy. So I cannot disturb this session, but hopefully you'll be able to get my presentation from the IGF website. So I'm very sorry not to be able to participate in this session for a long time, but I hope I will be able to work together, and also that this session will be fruitful for everyone attending here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kente. I have a lot of questions for you. I'm sure colleagues have, but I know you have to go. So thank you for coming and for joining us. Now you know Kente's face, so you can stop him wherever at the venue and ask whatever you want.
Thank you.
And we have colleagues here from ISOC, from ICANN, from Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and I would like to start maybe from this side, from the beginning, just to briefly introduce yourself and to tell the participants what is your interest to be here at the IGF, and why are you involved and for how long at the IGF, and concretely, what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Hiba Kamal Grayson, and I'm based in Google's offices in DC, where we work on internet governance issues. And Google's engaged with the IGF for many, many years, and we were incredibly happy when the IGF was renewed. We have a team here from around the world, and also a team of people who are not just policy people like me, but also folks from our technical teams to really reflect the diversity of why we care about the IGF. So just a few reasons, I could go on and on about why we're here, why we're investing, why we think it's important. But first of all, we really do think that the IGF is very unique in how it fosters cross-sector collaboration. There's really, I can't think of another place where representatives from academia, civil society, governments, the private sector are all just in a room talking and trying to figure out good areas to collaborate on emerging policy issues. And we really do value the fact that the IGF emphasizes the value of discussions over making decisions. We think that having a sort of open, dynamic space for conversations where you can listen, collaborate, and even disagree with one another without having to worry about, you know, what language is going into a document or a treaty or something like that is very, very valuable. Finally, we think it's a critical component of the multi-stakeholder model of internet governance. Very democratic, and I do think that we're seeing around the world more and more attempts to tighten control over the internet, to have more top-down models, and I think that makes the IGF more and more important than ever, to have new people come into the fold and to have a very diverse set of stakeholders. And then finally, you know, I think sometimes when you hear about the IGF, it's hard to justify why are you sending so many people? Why are you spending so many resources? So internally, we really have emphasized that the IGF paves the way for impactful policymaking, even in other fora. You know, some of the issues and discussions that we have here really do shape other discussions in very productive ways. So I'm very excited to be here and to meet all of you.
Thank you, Hiba. Let's move maybe on your right side, and then we're going to open the floor for questions and answers.
Hi, so my name is Andy O'Connell. I work at Facebook. And while Hiba was talking, I was frustrated because she went through all of my talking points one by one. So maybe rather than reiterate kind of why we think the IGF is great and valuable and why we send a team here, maybe I'll say a little bit about what we do while we're here. So I think there's sort of three main things. One, we attend panels on topics where there are experts speaking about issues that we care about. You all know from looking at the agenda that this is sort of nirvana for tech nerds and people who work particularly in policy, but in engineering and all over Facebook are tech nerds. And so this is an exciting opportunity to have sort of university level courses, discussions, conversations on lots of issues that are important to our company today and potentially important to our company in the future. The other thing we do is we participate in panels selectively where we think we have something to say or where there's a lot of interest in hearing from Facebook. So, you know, you'll see us on the agenda for a number of panels. And then the third thing we do, and I think this is arguably the most important, the most valuable piece of this, is we have lots and lots of bilateral and side conversations, formal and informal. IGF really is, you know, if you had to pick 1 week in one place to get the most, to have the most touches with people that are influential and thoughtful about leading technology policy and internet governance issues, this is where you come. Everybody's here. We want more people here, but we find it a great opportunity to meet with people in civil society, governments, other companies. So it's really a great forum, and you know, I'm happy to meet all of you, sort of, and I hope we can talk after the panel, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Andy. Carl?
Thank you very much. So my name is Carl Gomberg. I work with the Internet Society, or ISOC, as we're also known as. Very happy to hear that we're kind of an acronym within the IGF environment that needs to be explained. That means that we are known in this environment. So since I'm following Google and Facebook, I think I should start with just a brief explanation about what the Internet Society is. We're slightly less well known than those companies. So our roots are in the technical community. We were founded by the so-called founders of the internet, founding fathers of the internet, or they're usually referred to as that, which are Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn. And we were founded to provide the organizational home to the Internet Engineering Task Force, the IETF, which is the most prominent standards organization for internet technology. That role later evolved into a broader mission, which is essentially to ensure that the Internet's fundamental properties are protected, that we have an open Internet that is everywhere and accessible for everyone. So our work is mainly done through roughly through pillars, which constituted by infrastructure, where we work with, for example, deploying internet exchange points around the world, We work with policy to ensure that policy development is compatible with the fundamental properties of the internet and technologies that underpins it. And then we also work with education and capacity building and the kind of human side of the internet. But our interest in the IGF and why we are strong supporters of the IGF is really related to the kind of middle word of the Internet Governance Forum, the governance role here. Because as most of you know, Internet governance is distributed into different regimes and forums, and all the stakeholders have different roles in there. You have the technical community, for example, setting standards or network management. You have governments with regulations, legislations. You have private companies providing the services. You have civil society protecting human rights and creating norms around behavior, for example. So all of those actors are performing governance. And the IGF is kind of a central point where those stakeholders can meet and exchange information and ensure that their role contributes to protecting the overall internet. So an example would be, for example, that legislations that are coming into place are compatible with the technical layer. For example, issues around data localization should be discussed with the technical community, but also with civil society because it translates into privacy issues, etc. So the IGF is really a kind of focal point for all of those discussions. It allows for all the stakeholders to come together and create a kind of common mindset of how to solve the issues. I think I'm going to stop there. I'm happy to describe a little bit what we're doing in the week. We have a lot of different workshops ranging from community networking to collaborative security discussions, and happy to take any questions after, but I'll pass on the mic for now. Thank you.
Can we move? Maybe, Sophie, would you like to say a couple of words?
Thank you. My name is Sophie Tomlinson, and I'm from the International Chamber of Commerce. The International Chamber of Commerce is an international business association with local chambers in 130 countries. I don't know, I'm getting a bit of echo. Maybe that, thanks. So what we do at ICC is basically create self-regulatory tools for private sector. We produce policy statements in all different areas to do with perhaps arbitration, intellectual property, and also, of course, we focus as well on digital economy issues. And when we're at IGF, we're participating through an initiative called ICC Business Action to support the information society. So what we do here is that we gather our cross-sectoral membership, which has from small businesses but also large corporations, and we gather them at the IGF and try to create a vehicle for private sector to engage. So we contribute to the IGF agenda by suggesting workshops with private sector topics that business will be interested in following. We also set up daily business briefings for business participants at the IGF. So this isn't only for our members, and we invite and we encourage all business participants at the IGF. So if you're a business in here and you're wanting to meet some other private sector representatives or hearing the key topics that are going to be discussed each day at IGF, I really urge you to come to those meetings. They're at 8 o'clock every day in workshop room 2. And another thing that we've organised for business as well this year is an IGF app. We have one that's specific for our members, but we've also organised one for business participants at IGF. So again, this has a lot of different material on kind of key sessions at IGF that should be interested for private sector. So I urge you to download the app. It's on the App Store. It's ICC NetGov app. And I've got a lot of flyers and different material here with me. So if you want to come and see me after or ask any questions, please do. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to a newcomer. Anyone else who wants to?
Mark from Microsoft. Yeah, I would like to repeat some of the comments made by the people at the other end of the table about what a great place this is, to meet, touch base, It's a wonderful opportunity to meet people across the spectrum to talk about technology, policy, and the like. I have a list of all the things that we're doing here. We have 9 people here today. We're covering child sexual abuse imagery, terrorist content, internet governance, sustainable development, spectrum, sovereignty, net neutrality, digital economy, accessibility, universal acceptance, IPv6, and some more things like that. So you can see what a broad opportunity IGF is. There isn't anything like it really to cover all of those areas in a single week with a pretty small team and walk away having accomplished something, made connections, spread ideas, advanced policies.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else who wants to kind of briefly introduce their organization? Or we are... Okay, good. So now we have had people from Yahoo, Google, Facebook, ISOC, ICC, and Microsoft. Did I miss anyone? Okay, great. So now that we have had everyone kind of comment on why they're here, these technical communities as well as companies, I would like to open up the floor. I think there's 2 type of formats. Either you just kind of go and like chat with them, or the other one is, do you want to ask questions at the table? Which would you prefer? Okay, I feel like the pressure of asking somebody a question on the table might be a little more daunting. So yeah, I'll just like to, break out into groups. You can just kind of like walk out now, you know who's who. Hopefully you've been paying attention. Now you know who's who, then you can just kind of go and chat with them, ask them about questions that you might potentially have. So thank you.
Sé que cuando llegues y lo agarras siempre te avisa que están prendidos, se van a quedar prendidos todo el tiempo.